I'm just an hour behind you.
Oh, awesome. So it's 11 for you right now. It's the morning.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for signing up for the interview.
What was that?
I said thank you for signing up for this interview.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hit record, then I'll just do a quick intro and then I'll pass it to you.
Okay, awesome.
All right. All right, welcome to the Make It interview series. My name is Tara, and today I get to interview Elizabeth. So, could you please introduce yourself? Tell us the name you like to go by, where you're going to school, and why you picked your major.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'm glad to be here. My name is Elizabeth Olusola. I'm a senior accounting major at Morgan State University, which is located in Baltimore, Maryland. My major, accounting, I chose it because I've been interested in business since I was young. I had a very light intro into it. Like we had econ in high school, and so I wanted to do accounting because I heard it was like once you do accounting, it's the language of business. So once you can do that, you can like almost understand any type of industry. And so that's why I chose accounting. And interestingly enough, I added a chemistry minor because um, I had an internship with an auditing company, and in that auditing company, I was even put into the healthcare industry. So we went to a couple hospitals in Maryland, and we talked to them about their finances, how are people billed, how do they kind of account for all those type of things. And so it made me really interested in healthcare, and so I picked up the chemistry minor as a science.
That's awesome. What a cool combo. Uh,
Yeah.
so, even before high school, like before you took the econ classes and whatnot, did you have an idea, like growing up, like what you wanted to be?
Um, I think it fluctuated between law and doctors just because there was a lot of that in my family. And so I was always, my parents, at least like from what I remember, I was always really helpful with people. Like I remember as a kid, I was playing with a friend that I made that day at the at the park, and they had fell and they were bleeding at their knee. And so just as a reflex, I started to help them and was like trying to stop the bleeding with my hands. And it wasn't until my mom saw it, she rushed over and she was like, "You can't do that, da da da, it's not sanitary, here's a band-aid, da 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 da." And so I've always been compassionate with people. So I would say like, growing up I probably wanted to be a doctor, and then yeah, I ended up into business.
Still, I mean, finances, people need help with their finances all the time. So it's like a
Yeah,
different form of compassion. Uh, that's a cool story, though. I
yeah.
I watch too much Grey's Anatomy, and every time I'm rewatching it, and every time I watch it, I'm like, man, should I go to med school? And then I'm
Yeah,
like, this looks complicated. I don't know if I could do that.
it is. It is. It's definitely
Awesome.
a long road.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're
So
doing
now,
it, be committed.
oh yeah. So senior year, so you've had a couple of years with your undergrad.
Hmm.
What are some things that you really love about your major?
Um, I love how my major, it's definitely strengthened my computer skills. So, my school, like, luckily has lots of programs and like side webinars that you can attend to like better your computer skills. And so, maybe an accountant, I've always been encouraged to do them. And so I have. Um, and with my major, I've been able to apply it to different things. So, I think um, last year our school started like this investing competition, and so with my accounting background I was able to like, I won third place in that particular competition, and it's because of my accounting background I was able to like analyze companies and figure out what I wanted to invest in. And so it's definitely empowered me in terms of like competitive things, building my skills up professionally, and also just being more aware of my finances. So like me being able to build a budget and help my friends do the same. So yeah, I love that I chose accounting.
That's awesome. I like investing to me is so scary. I mean, I'm sure if I like took some time, I'd figure it out, but
Yeah,
it's like, I'm gonna lose all my money and I have no idea what I'm doing. So
yeah,
awesome
yeah,
you're able to like apply that in the competition.
yeah. So definitely, it's the risk is there if you're not sure. Like if your only strategy is hope, yeah, it's kind of scary. But once you do some research and the certain things you're looking for or things that pertain to you and important to you in a company, it
Mhm.
definitely gets easier.
Okay, that makes sense. And what are some things that you maybe didn't like about your major or you would like to add or change to your college experience?
I think the way it was sort of taught in some of our classes, like they taught us very thoroughly, but it wasn't, they rarely applied it to like real life situations. And so it kind of, it made it difficult. I saw for other people and for myself to like understand material like from the beginning. But for me, I found that it got easier once I made like a situation or I made a problem in real life and applied the concept I was learning into the real world. It made it much easier. So I did wish our school kind of incorporated that in their curriculum, but I found a way to do it for myself and like help other students if I was tutoring how to apply those. So that way it's a lot easier to understand and apply.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Luckily my school is a bit more hands-on, so we had like a lot
Mhm.
of labs and stuff. So that definitely helped. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like if I'm just reading something, I'm still like, I don't know if I can do this until I
Yeah,
actually try it. So that's really great that you're able to kind of make those experiences for yourselves and for yourself and even your friends. Um,
exactly.
that's cool. So also in college, maybe outside the classroom, what are some experiences that you had that really like shaped your degree and kind of who you are, like extracurriculars or whatnot?
I think the two things that stick out to me is my tutoring position at CASA. So CASA is it's a department on our campus that focuses on academic development and specifically for like freshmen and sophomores, but they offer services to everybody on campus, anybody that's a student. And so in my end of my sophomore year, I applied to be a tutor and I was accepted for the following year. And so in that position, one, I met so many students because students I would have never met, you know, typically in my classes, I met them. I was able to interact with lots of classifications. So me being a junior at the time, I would have only take classes with probably other juniors and seniors, right? And so in that position, I was able to interact with freshmen, with sophomores, people with different majors, and being able to help them and mentor them with my experience and what I've done so far, help them in their journey in school. And so I really love that. And it's opened me up, you know, to make more friends and to, you know, have more of an impact on my campus. And the second experience I would say is I was part of a trivia team called HCAS. So it stands for Honda Campus All Star. Um, yeah, Honda's Campus All Star, I think college something. And so it's basically like Jeopardy, but in team based. And so it's made me really competitive. And so that's why I love like any type of competition. And like I love being able to apply what I know to like a competition and to win. And like if you don't win, it's still really fun in the process and you make lots of friends. And so that has really shaped me because I've met different schools. I have friends at different HBCUs, different states. I've traveled because of it. And I don't think I would have had that opportunity if I wasn't in that club. So those have definitely really shaped my college experience outside the classroom.
That is epic. Like the fact that you've been able to travel and like meet friends from other HBCUs. And
Yeah.
I love that you said like, you know, you love being competitive, but if you don't win,
Mhm.
like it's still fun. You know,
Mhm.
you're still getting to play the game and you're learning and you're meeting people. Um, that's great that you're able to like be a part of those organizations.
Yeah. Yeah. They were awesome.
That's great. And then, so now that you're approaching graduation and you've had all these experiences, you're wrapping up your classes. What are some things that you see yourself doing post grad? Like, what's the big picture that you want to do?
Um, I think post graduation, I'll probably be working for a little bit, probably before coming back for school for further education. And this is just because I've had the opportunity in past summers to have internships. And so I've had an internship with a governmental entity and with a private entity. And so I really enjoyed the private entity and I learned a lot from the governmental entity. And I was able to kind of merge those two in the second internship. And so after graduation, I'll be working full time with them for probably a year or two to get more experience under my belt, do some certification. So for me as an accountant, I would be doing the CPA exam. And afterwards, hopefully, I'll go back to do either my master's or my PhD, depending on the opportunity at my job. to just further my education and being able to apply that more into the work field.
That's great that you have something like kind of lined up already with your internship. I'm glad that you liked it so much. And dang, yeah, I can totally see you getting a PhD already with your drive.
Yeah,
Like, I love to compete, blah, blah, blah. You're like, seems like school is cake, or it's
yeah,
at least.
yeah. I think it's just school. I guess with all my experiences, I've learned how to make school fun.
Good.
So it doesn't have to be like, dreadful and there's grades and it's like, I don't know or I do know. If you make it fun and kind of like a game, like, and I've learned that through tutoring, helping other students understand. I've learned that through my club, the HCAS. So if you can gamify things, it becomes fun. When it's a competition, it becomes fun. And so even if you don't win, it was fun in the process. So yeah.
That's great. And that leads into like my last question too. I like to ask, what is a piece of advice that you would give students who maybe don't know what they want to study yet, or they're just graduating high school, going into college? What's some advice that you would give them? And it can be about how you make school fun as well.
Mhm. There's lots of students in that position, and I think it's kind of scary because you feel as if by choosing your major, you're choosing your path for life, and there's no changing, there's no going back, you can't pivot and things like that. But I would say don't be scared, and try different things. So in the beginning, try and choose a wide range of classes, probably not just your gen eds, but like if you can do other, specific classes for different departments. So try, some humanity classes, some business classes, some natural science classes and maybe like intro engineering. And so through that, you can kind of figure out what is it that you'd like and what is it that if it gets challenging, you would still find fun. You know what I mean? At the same time, I would say talk to people, like maybe people in different fields and just ask to shadow them or ask to, just follow them for a day and just see what it's like working in those particular fields. Because, class is very theoretical, but what is it like practically, if we're doing this full time? And just don't be scared. I think I've met lots of people who they've went to school for one thing and then after school, they're doing something completely different. And so it's even though they're not directly applying their knowledge or their degree towards what they're doing, it's the experience of building a work ethic, working in teams. How do you confront something you're not sure of, or how do you confront new things, and how do you, adapt? That's what college really is about. So don't really stress too much about your major. I think do something that you would enjoy, and that if it gets harder, that you would have the stamina to continue. But in the end, I think it's whatever you find doing, just, learn to do it well and to enjoy it.
That's a great point. Thank you for sharing that, because yeah, I'm definitely in that boat too, where I studied one thing, but I'm not working in that field. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's a moment where I was like, oh my God, what a waste. But it's like, no, it's
Mm-hmm.
not a waste. You learn so much in
Mm-hmm.
college that can be applied, anywhere you go. I
Really.
think students need to hear that, because it's kind of scary when they don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing like your journey with me today. I feel energized just by your like love and gamification of your major and whatnot. And I wish you the best with your last year of undergrad this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. This
Yeah.
was great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.